Alright, so it's been a few days, but on Friday we watched the new Kevin Hart, Will Ferrell movie, Get Hard. Will Ferrell is do you want to say a plot synopsis?
Will Ferrell is an elderly man who gets sent to jail because people think that he's a fraud artist, and he hires Kevin Hart because he's a racist to teach him how to survive in jail.
And then Allison Bree's in the movie is his girlfriend, and then some old dude is the dad.
Not Allison's Bree dad. Allison Bree's dad, not
who
Will
tries
Ferrell's
to fuck him
dad.
up. Tries to fucking put him in prison and whatever. So that's basically the plot of the movie. And these episodes, as always, are spoilers. It's a fucking Will Ferrell comedy, so it's kind of obvious. He makes friends with Kevin Hart, and then he doesn't go to jail, but he does. There you go. Fucking plot synopsis over. What did you think of Unfinished Business, Aidan?
It's not unfinished. It's Get Hard. It's still Get Hard.
I called it Delivery Man and Unfinished Business in the previous take. So.
I like Will Ferrell usually. This movie was average. It was kind of boring.
I think it's pretty bad.
Kevin Hart was boring. They made a lot of racist jokes, but none of them were particularly funny. That's pretty much my whole opinion on the movie.
Okay, I'm gonna go into it too. It wasn't a bad comedy, but for a Will Ferrell movie, it was a bad comedy, if that makes any sense. Like, Will Ferrell's like one of the funnier comedians that came out of SNL. Like, there are very few there that I actually like legitimately. Like him, John Belushi, some other guys. But for the most part, you can expect from SNL a really shitty...
Not much.
Not much. But in the case of Will Ferrell, he has some good hits. For all ages, multiple movies, of course, like Talladega Nights, Step Brothers are newer-ish examples. But I mean, he also has he has a lot of films, and out of his library, Get Hard will definitely be like Blades of Glory, where it's like, oh yeah, that happened. You know?
Forgot about
like
that
no
movie.
one cares about the. No one's gonna care about this movie. It had racist jokes. They were predictable. I had some funny parts from both Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. I almost said Will Smith. We can get into the story of that in a minute, but basically, what was I saying? Okay, there were funny parts from both. I don't think Kevin Hart. Now I'm doing it again, but I don't think Kevin Hart's that bad of an actor. I thought there were some funny moments and they were believable as their characters, but it wasn't just like constant like hilarity like you could expect from something like Step Brothers or from experiencing a movie like Step Brothers or another movie like that. But for Will Ferrell or Kevin Hart fans, you're definitely gonna enjoy it. And I don't think Kevin Hart's a terrible comedian. I don't really care too much for him. Like I don't hate him, which is good for comedians. That's like I don't hate him is like the ultimate compliment for a comedian in my book, because I hate a lot of comedians like Kevin James,
Kevin Smith.
I don't hate Kevin Smith's like early stuff, but then he's not really doesn't do anything. He's not really the comedian. He's a director. But I mean, there's kind of a difference.
Okay, we've become really sidetracked.
We become sidetracked, but the idea is that I didn't think the comedy was terrible in the movie. Just there was a lot of parts in between that I just was like, whatever. There was a little more filler than most Will Ferrell comedies. Well, Step Brothers, even on like the more like low-key moments, you're gonna have something funny going on, and that's the thing that was really lacking in this movie that made it so it wasn't a constant laugh fest. Overall, the characters are fairly likable, and it's whatever. That's my real thoughts on the movie. So, Aidan, what's your favorite, or what was your favorite and least favorite part, or whatever?
Anyway, my favorite part and my least favorite part?
Yeah.
My favorite part, the parts when the movie was funny and not boring. I guess my favorite part would be when he taught the Tupac people the the hardcore gangsters how to do stock market. And my least favorite part of the movie was anything where it was not funny parts, which was a lot of the movie.
There was a lot of... It wasn't, like, cringe-inducing. Not funny. I want to elaborate. It's nothing, like, cringe-inducing, like Adam Sandler, where it's, like, trying to be funny. Like, Jill took a poop in her pants. Well, Jack sat there and said, "Oh, Roy," you know? It's not like that. It's just, like, points in the movie where they weren't even trying to be funny. Just nothing really went on. But I thought the comedy they did was done alright. Will Ferrell's always good at pulling a duo comedy. But,
there was only...
And I actually commend you for giving a specific spot, because I think most of our videos were just like, yeah, my favorite specific part in the movie is all the action scenes.
There was only one part that actually made me cringe in the movie, and that's when they raid the, I can't remember what they're called.
When
they're like
June from Leave It to Beaver says, "I speak Jav."
They raid the racists' headquarters, and then when they're driving off, there's some topless woman who jumps on their car, and Kevin Hart goes, "Racist boobies!"
Yeah, that part was bad.
Cringed a little.
I just yelled that.
Yeah, that was probably a little loud.
But never mind. But
it was pretty... That was the only part that made me cringe really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really cringe too hard in this movie. For the most part, I agree. I thought that was the other thing, though. There was, like, a lot of stereotypes. Like, Kevin Hart's like, "I'm the one exception to the rule, you know? For black people, because I'm the only one in this movie that's not a thug." And then the rest of them are like, "I like murdering people for fun." And then Will Ferrell's like, "I really enjoy the booty," you know? Will Ferrell has this thing where his character is funny, but he plays the same one in every movie. It doesn't matter. In this one, he's a stockbroker that's getting framed for a crime. In Elf, he's playing an elf. It doesn't matter. He's the same fucking character. Just toss him in. He plays a race car driver. It really doesn't matter. In the way of his character, because he always just plays that Will Ferrell guy. Like, there's no huge differentiation, but like other than Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, every character in the movie is kind of stereotypes, and I guess that's my least favorite part. And I think that's a little more specific than all the action scenes, so I'm gonna give myself a pass for that one. And yeah, because that gets a little annoying. Like, there's no character with any real depth. Like the evil antagonist of this movie that's framing Will Ferrell. He's like the stereotypical douchebag businessman we've seen in every movie that has ever had a douchebag businessman. Like RoboCop, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's the same shit.
The dad from Elf.
Yeah, the dad from Elf changed. Though.
Yeah, he did.
So that was kind of a role reversal in Elf, and was kind of done more cleverly than this movie, where he's just like, "Curse you, Joes!" But, like, so yeah, but my favorite part, I liked a lot of the comedy in the movie. I thought, like you said, I thought a lot of the funniest parts were like you said, I really liked the part where Will Ferrell was teaching those guys how to do taxes and stuff. But for the sake of picking a different part, I will have to say my favorite part was actually kind of the reverse, where Will Ferrell was learning to be gangsta and stuff, but he was still kind of like it seemed like some 50, 60-year-old man being Will Ferrell trying to be gangster, you know? Like if my great-grandpa was like, I'm fucking gangsta, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Bad part.
I didn't think that was a bad part. I thought that was kind of
No,
funny.
I said that wasn't a bad part.
Because it was just like it was kind of to be expected if you're going to throw gangsters into a movie, and I'm pretty damn sure it's been done before. I mean, it happened in Chappie, but with a robot, you know? It's funny to watch people become gangsta, you know? When they're not gangsta, you know? And they're like, "Oh my god, look at Will Ferrell. He's fucking old, but he's listening to Tupac." You know? Like, he could be Tupac's fucking grandpa, but he's listening to him anyways. So that was kind of funny. That was my best and worst part.
You know what honestly would have made this movie a little better?
What? What's that?
Like, during the movie, the old, rich, white guy who frames Will Ferrell is like, Will Ferrell's investigating me, but he doesn't actually do any investigation, and then in like the last 5 minutes of the movie, they rush the ending, and they're like, "Oh, Kevin Hart figured it out instantly, and then the action scene where he does karate, which was a pretty good part too, on the boats.
Payoff.
But it would have been a better
expected.
movie if they actually did like investigating and tried to clear Will Ferrell's name instead of just throwing it in at the end and just making the payout the last 2 minutes of the movie with no real build-up.
Yeah. Well, it was like the first part should have been like them teaching them, and then they should have been like, you know what, let's refocus our energy on trying to investigate this, and then the end should have been how that ended, but they kind of skipped the middle step where they're like, that's boring. This movie's way too long at a whopping like 120 minutes. So, or no, not 120 minutes. I mean 90 minutes. So they didn't really include much on that. So yeah. But I just want to explain the Will Smith confusion. We were watching Focus a while back. Or we watched Focus.
That was a while ago.
So it was a while. It was like a month ago, but I think I was the first one. I called Will Ferrell. I called him Will Smith, and then like 15 seconds into the movie, Aidan leans over and is like, "Look at Will Smith," and he was talking about Kevin Hart, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? You're racist." But yeah, overall, I guess I would suggest this movie to anyone that likes the Will Ferrell character, if that makes any sense. How Will Ferrell always kind of plays that same character. If you're a Will Ferrell fan, I think you'll get some yucks out of it, you know. But I mean, it's not a hugely exciting movie. It's not gonna be like the game changer, next Step Brothers, next whatever, next Elf, you know. It's not gonna be as memorable as any of those Will Ferrell movies, but it's good.
The movie is, I don't know. I was gonna say the movie's kind of like Talladega Nights, where if you have some, you didn't want me to finish.
Oh.
Where if you have some people like it's something you could kind of bring your mom and dad to, but then I remembered that part where Will Ferrell sucks at dick, so
Alright, guys,
I'll edit that.
We're back, fellas.
Where was I?
Let's just
Right, I was gonna say it's a movie you could bring your family to, but like,
no, you can't. Dude,
but
because
much like Unfinished Business, Will Ferrell Will Ferrell puts a dick next to his mouth. Much like Unfinished Business had multiple dicks.
Actually.
So in the end, who would I recommend this to? If you really like Will Ferrell,
or
go
Kevin
see
Hart,
it.
I guess. I mean, there's fans of Kevin Hart out there, not just people that like.
If you really want to see an old white dude be greedy, they have that in there too. That's a good reason to go see the movie. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah,
honestly,
he's not really greedy because
I mean,
really stupid.
he tried to send Will Ferrell to jail.
That was a stupid comment because you said it.
No, it was a stupid.
It was meant to be a Will Ferrell comment, and you changed it. You're like a white man being greedy, and then you're like, I mean, Will Ferrell.
No, that's not what I said.
It kind of advertises. I would have liked it better if Will Ferrell was actually guilty, then he had to go to prison. But that's not how they would end it, you know.
That wouldn't be a very fun ending.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be better.
It would probably be a better movie, but it wouldn't be a fun ending where he does his gay version of karate that they made fun of all movie.
You think there's like a real version of karate that
Absolutely
someone
not.
just cried? You can actually do that.
Absolutely not.